Oh, Crash. How could you, man? I mean, of all the low things to do, you hit someone, or a Titan in this case, where one place where it hurts. I also love the fact that the cutscene just goes from like an animated one to an in-game cutscene right off the bat. I thought that was a pretty smooth transition, but still, Crash, what has Activision done to you? I mean, my goodness. I know not a lot's changed since the previous game that you were in prior to this one, but still, I mean, come on. But anyways, guys, what's going on? It's Shadow HP 3 here. Excited to get started here because I'm not only looking forward to playing this game that we can tell here is a Crash Bandicoot game, but I'm looking forward to having a little bit of help along the way beforehand, as you can maybe see. Because, yeah, Coco is a playable character here, so we're going to probably look to maybe see if I can get somebody to help me out here. Oh, yeah, and I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. I mean, I'm sure Crash didn't mean any harm, but now hopefully you guys are excited. I know I am. Finally get back on the LP train and get things rolling. So hopefully you all are ready as I go through with my next Let's Play of Crash Mind Over Mutant. And I'll be playing this game on the Xbox 360, by the way, which oddly got some of the worst views compared to some of the other games, but thankfully not as much worse as the DS. But no, this game came out not too long after Crash of the Titans did. It actually came out in 2008. And it, once again, came out, you know, in the main places you would know, except for Japan, which I find kind of odd that Japan still didn't get this game or the previous game. But this is the sequel, like I said, to Crash of the Titans. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. This is a game, of course, I had plans on playing eventually, of course, since I played through the first one. And I just wasn't sure how soon I wanted to get started with playing. I figured, you know, it's been a couple of years since I last played the first game, so, you know, like, why not? Let's get this party rolling here, because, I mean, I'm a Crash fan. I've always enjoyed Crash Bandicoot. I wish he got a little bit more love now than he did, you know, compared to how he did when he first came on the scene, but some mascots just have a little bit more of a powerful impact than others. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that this game also has a difficulty setting as well, too? Well, it doesn't have easy, medium, and hard. It has mild, tricky, and bonkers with an exclamation point of all things. So we're gonna play this on the bonkers difficulty. And I don't know why I keep saying bonkers in such a high-pitched voice like that's making any impact. So I've already got a test file here where I was trying out some things just to kind of get things rolling, which it took me forever and a day to get the setup the way I wanted to, but no harm doing. And sometimes I'd rather just take some time to get things right rather than try to speed through things. But anyways, let's get this adventure rolling. So we have an opening cutscene, which is kind of an homage to the style of the opening cutscene from Crash of the Titans, but this takes place from where Crash of the Titans ended, which basically ended with the Nina and Cortex being defeated. Cortex was scolding Nina at the very end of the game, and of course his means of punishment is to send Nina back to evil school, while he goes and rekindles friendship with a fellow villain in Dr. Nitrous Brio, who knows how, I mean, it's been forever and a day since we saw N. Brio in the game. But no, he and Cortex are now teaming up to work on a new really cool device that apparently is going to allow people who, you know, wear it eventually be able to do all cool things, but they can also be possessed and become mutants like that bunny rabbit we just saw. And I'm sure it's a completely different one than the one we saw in the first opening cutscene anyway, but
What have I got?
But yeah, they're like, hey, we saw that, you know, what one of these devices can do. Let's not make a million of them, or why not make a million of them and sell them to everybody on Wumpa Island. So it's going to be crazy how this adventure is going to go down, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But in the meantime, what I like to do here, just to begin with, we're not going to get a lot accomplished in this first video, but let me just introduce a couple of things. First off, we get to start off in Crash's house this game as opposed to starting off outside Crash's house, so we get to see what's inside it here. And there's a lot of cool things that I'll just kind of briefly touch on here. So if you go to this fireplace, you get to see a description of all the enemies in this game, which is pretty cool. You get to see in this crate, different clothes where Crash can change the skin color that he wears, including changing his color of his pants and his shoes. And even, I believe, he can also change the color from the Titans as well, kind of like the first game as well too, and it has an effect based on the, the skin that he wears has an effect. With these stack of comics, some comic books here, we'll go through these. I'm just kind of basically flipping through these real fast just to give you an idea what to expect. If you go to this TV, this is where you can watch all these cutscenes here. And then there's finally one little area that you may not have seen, but there's also a little bit of mojo there, which I find odd that they place that up there on the hammock. But if you come up here, interact with these pictures, you get to see all of the stats for the game. So take a good look, because not only are there upgrades to collect, but there are different missions. There's optical missions. I mean, this game, I won't say it had a complete makeover in terms of the style, and the goal. But, there's a lot of different things that you're going to see that this game has to offer. Not necessarily in terms of the attack style, but, it's going to be different. So we'll explain them as we go along the way. Here we have a save, totem pole here with a cool floppy disk on there. So, of course, if we want to save our game at any point in time, we can. I'm going to probably hold off on doing that for right now. Before I do that first mission of talking to Coco, I'm going to bash a couple of blocks, or not blocks. What is this, N64 or old PlayStation? No, it's not. We're going to bash these little, pots with these grass and collect a little bit of mojo along the way. I know it's not going to help me much right now, but if you all played this game or played the previous game, then I'm sure most of you are aware that collecting mojo is a big part of the gameplay. And we're going to need it to, get upgrades here. But no, here we have Coco and Crunch hanging out here. Looks like Coco's working on something with the Doominator, which you can still see in the background. Before we do get started, though, I'm going to whack
my therapist told me to avoid this.
Coco and Crunch a couple of times.
Cover your mouth when you sneeze.
So, just like beforehand, you can see that these characters are going to have a lot of dialogue. So you can spend a lot of time talking to these characters and seeing what they have to say if you just whack them. So, and then there's one other funny thing that Coco says.
I am so mad now.
No, that's not it. What is it? No.
I'll tell Mom.
There you go.
Who is she anyway?
Yes, they have no idea who their mom is, of all things. But I know their background is kind of I won't say a tragic one, but they basically were, part of Cortex's failed experiments. But that's another story within itself. So let's go ahead and talk to Coco and initiate the second cutscene in this game, which involves a puppet show, of all things.
Stupid thing work.
Wow, we should clean this place up, children. It's been like a metric year.
I wonder who they decided to animate as far as who's doing the puppets. But anyway, I'm probably not going to say much during these cutscenes, because a lot of these are hilariously funny.
Gotcha.
Oh my goodness. The zany antics still continue from the previous game.
We'll have the best entertainment system of all time. It'll play games, watch movies, and dispense butter. It'll be the mother of all TiVos.
I still wonder who's managing the. See, here's what I don't get.
Where'd I get this?
How does Crunch have no strings controlling his arms?
Working, I'll need a bunch of parts.
Or how does Crunch not have any strings controlling his arms while Coco has strings controlling her arms? I have no idea. She must. Well, she has ideally slender arms. Still, I can't believe I'm even talking about arms in a Crash Bandicoot game. But anyways, we have our. I won't say our first full mission, but now after talking to Coco, as you can tell at the end of the cutscene, she wants us to collect some parts to her capacitron so she can try to fix the Doominator eye and get a really cool video sound system that will be quote-unquote the mother of all TiVos. Yeah, this game has got a lot of different references, and you're going to find a lot of, hear a lot of them throughout the time that we play through this. So see if you can try to spot as many of them as you can. I may even possibly do something where I may put up some kind of annotation to show, what we've got.
What have I got?
But yeah, we have we're tasked with collecting 6 different parts here. And so we're going to do the best we can to collect them, collect them all as much as we can, or at least collect them. Now I don't expect to collect them all in the in this first video because I mean they're spread throughout and we're going to be traveling throughout a number of different places. But yeah, something if you all don't recognize right off the bat, we don't have an actual level or a series of levels to traverse across in this game like we did in the first game. We have a full-fledged sandbox environment with which to wait a second. How did I not dig? I was like right underneath it, and then it said I
Crash.
dig.
That power up will double the amount of mojo you collect for a short time. So hurry up and break stuff.
All right, Aku. I didn't think you were gonna tell me that soon, but oh well. Okay, but yeah, no, this game has a lot of cool features. One of which you see now here is that Crash now has the ability to dig underground, places where you can dig. But also there is a portion where, like I was saying beforehand, where he can also essentially not travel, from one in a level kind of by level basis. He has the ability now to travel to different areas, not just through Wumpa Island here, but through other parts of this game. So that's kind of a really cool, interesting feature that I don't think any other Crash Bandicoot game has ever implemented. So at least it lets me know that Activision, I think, was kind of listening to some of the feedback from fans of the first game, and then also they were thinking, okay, well, what can we do to try to make things a little bit different from the first game? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the formula of just being able to play from one level, you finish, then play to another level, but still, I don't know, it's just, I mean, sometimes it's all right to kind of experiment and try different things just to see, if it works, and if it does, great, but if not, then, hey, at least you tried and it's all good. So the Ratnicians are back, as you can see. And apparently they're vegetarians now from what I read in the description about them when doing some research for this game. Now, I mean, I'm going to try to talk and introduce a couple of things while we're going through trying to collect at least the first couple of parts here, which I'm going to try to shoot for before we call it a video, but no, Aku's going to be teaching us some
do
cool
your
features.
Spin attack, Crash. You've unlocked the spin upgrade.
He was going to explain one other thing, and then I get my first upgrade of the game. So I interrupted one tutorial and just so I can at least get an upgrade. So at least, hey, there you go. Name of the game. If you want to stop Aku from talking, try to see if you can get an actual attack or some kind of upgrade. But so a couple of features here. One, we have different items, of course, to collect, not just Capacitron parts, but voodoo dolls, which are going to have really cool features. Now, normally, Aku would teach me how to go about, doing a, really high vertical jump, but he never did right away. I don't know why. Let's get this voodoo doll real fast. This is going to be key for collecting, the artwork that I mentioned about.
Dolls will unlock special
Can I make it?
rewards
Ooh,
for you, Crash.
Close. I didn't think I was going to make that.
Tons of cool stuff.
All right, but yeah, like Aku was saying, there's going to be voodoo dolls that are going to be strewn throughout about
get some real height, rotate the left stick
this
and
game.
Press the
So
A button.
we're going to be trying to collect them as best as we can, because I want to collect them all, and I also want to collect all the upgrades. But we'll see how it goes. So, because there's 32 of them, and I'd like to think I'm going to have a hard time, but it won't be as hard as you all may think it may be initially, and I'll tell you why here. So if you look at my Mojo collection right now and you see the multiplier, it's at 5, it's at ×5 right now, which is something you never really would be able to see, I don't think, too often in the, at least in the first game from what I remember. So if you are comboing off of enemies and you can go long stretches of time while dealing damage and not taking a hit, your multiplier will increase, and of course as it increases, the amount of mojo you collect will be multiplied by whatever the number you show here. So now collecting anywhere from between 5 mojo with the blue ones, 50 with the pink, and then if I happen to find a gold one, then those are worth 10. So normally, so then we'd be looking at actually, hold on, I mean, the pink ones would be worth 25, but then the gold ones would be worth 50 with a ×5 multiplier. So, but yeah, the longer you can keep the combo going without taking a hit, the larger your multiplier will be, and the more mojo you can collect, therefore increasing or speeding up the time that you can get your upgrades. So if I can go without taking a hit here, you all will see in a moment just how fast you can collect upgrades in this game. So let me see if I can get this mojo multiplier here. This times 2 mojo multiplier. We'll get 10 times the mojo. I should totally get this gold mojo real fast if I can help it. Okay, cool, perfect. And hopefully I don't fall, because that was kind of risky. All right, let me quickly go back down here. These dandelions can be beaten up for some mojo, so I'm going to try to collect these as fast as I can here, if I can help it. But yeah, I guess kind of like beforehand, this game, in terms of collecting items and collecting mojo, it's a little bit tedious in some ways, but I guess it kind of allows for the fun to be had. So I'm going to try to limit as often as I can, you know, the time I spend down in these places, because I do want to try to keep the time, you know, for these videos short. But at the same time, I know that, you know, if I can collect all the upgrades now, then I will save me the trouble of having to do that, you know, later if I want to. So, anyways, I think we have at least one more part, a Capacitron part, that I do want to get in this video, and I think because we've only gotten 2 out of 6 so far, but I think we are coming up on it relatively soon here. There's another save point if you really want to save the game. Gotta work our way up these steep inclines. Crash, what are you looking at? I mean, there's nothing down there really worth looking at. All right, come on. Probably would be doing myself a favor by jumping rather than walking. And I'll wait for this crate to stop spinning. See, even like now, and even in the previous game, these crates now have some kind of personality to themselves. Alright, and TNT crates. It's like, these power boots are not even really doing anything. Anyways, let me blow up all these TNT crates real fast. I'm going to try to get away, because I've already, when rehearsing, I already took a hit one time as a result of their Capacitron part, if that wasn't clear enough. I'll say, come on, I know you all have mojo here. Give me some more mojo. Please. You guys should have had much more mojo than that, seriously. I'm disappointed in you all. Alright, anyway. Let me collect a few more things, and then we're going to collect this final Capacitron part, take a look at that little spiral spinning thing, and then may wrap it up here. Because I just want to collect all the mojo I can, so I don't have to worry about doing it at the very start of the next video. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and collect it. So we've got 3 out of 6 parts. 3 more to go. Let's go ahead and collect this mojo, and then we'll see the spinning
you need
spiral
to spin
here.
on top of this to make it work. Luckily, I hear that spinning is something you do pretty well by now.
And what I find funny, you know, whenever you spin with Crash, he does get dizzy after a while, but while you're on that, as long as you haven't, you know, spun yourself out, I guess you can, or spun it all the way down, whatever door you're trying to lower, then I think you get dizzy. As far as I know, anyways. I didn't want to try it because I'm still low
where the spin drill
on
would be
upgrades.
Useful. Try doing it here to advance.
Okay, so alrighty. I think coming up here on a couple of rat missions. I said I was going to stop it here after we got the 3rd part, but I'm going to do one other thing, and then we'll cut it. So, yep. Oh, and even the rat missions, they're a lot different in this game in terms of their personalities, slightly. They also still carry a weapon, but they're pretty you know, weak, because they're the first kind of minion in the game you come across. But yeah, got a good amount of items here, so I think all in all things are going pretty good. So I think this will probably be a good place to stop for now. We're going to collect the rest of the other parts and get back to Coco here in the next video. But hopefully you guys are excited for this start of this adventure. I know I am, for sure. So we'll have a lot of fun, I can already tell. But in the meantime, guys, if you like this video, think it should be awesome, or you know it's awesome, let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a like. Please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time when we continue on collecting Coco's Capacitron parts, and we'll see if we can help her fix the Doominator eye so she can have what will be the mother of all TiVos, as she says anyways. But alright, guys, have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time in the next episode, and take it easy. Until then, stay perky.